Former burglars. Where is one place people should never hide valuables? Story 1. Fire safes are only safe from fires. My sister's house burned completely. The fire department didn't put a drop of water on it, and the propane added to the heat until the underground tank ran out. There was nothing but ash and rubble. When we broke into her fireproof safe, the plastic on the inside was mostly melted, but she recovered most of the paper documents inside, including about $2,000 in paper cash. Yep, it's better than nothing. For like 20 minutes. That's why you've got to layer them for ultimate fire protection. Although in California, I'd fear fires more than thieves, but I also doubt that much in a fire safe survived a wildfire anyway. I guess it really needs to be buried underground. That probably works against thieves too. X marks the spot. Arr. A family friend I've known since I was a kid has been a fireman his whole career in California. His wedding gift to us was a fire safe. He explained that he's seen those save people so much hassle when dealing with an already crappy situation. So in his experience, they are worth having. Story 2. I had a Malamute dog years ago, had another 2 later, but this was a particularly fluffy one. A friend had heard that it was possible to spin their fur, so I saved enough to knit several jumpers. Anyway, a burglar took stuff from our garage and this massive box of fur too. Must have been quite a surprise. A burglar stole my dad's box of dried-up dog crap from the porch once. My dad goes out into the yard once a week to clean up the dog turds and usually throws them in an Amazon box and then tosses it. He left it on the porch for some reason and forgot about it. He realized he forgot about it when he saw it spilled open in the street a block down. We laughed about the turd burglar still. That's a great idea for if you have a problem with package thieves. Dude, just imagine how weird it would be for the dog to see you in a jumper made of its fur. Look, Mr. Fluffkins, I'm just like you! Rebecca, you take my old fur off right this instant. You are embarrassing both of us. Story 3. We had our apartments burgled. There were 4 apartments in the area. Guy kicked down the door and apparently was out pretty quick. I came home from work. Cop told me never leave valuables in your nightstand. But I've even said bottom drawer. Sure enough, mine were checked. I could tell because my envelopes were moved from where I placed them. I lived in a 4-apartment block. Every apartment got broken into except mine, but the only easily accessible window to my apartment was my dog's room. Nothing like 90 pounds of a hole that doesn't like someone waking him up from a nap. Even better when the dog lets him in, but not out. Any burglar who looks in my nightstand is in for some awkward discoveries. Awkward, exciting discoveries. Story 4. This doesn't exactly answer the question asked, but it is a tip on potentially protecting your valuables. Bear with me because it's a bit strange. Glue a spare key, not one that opens something important, under your doormat. Weird, right? A few years ago, I did this in addition to installing cameras. Over the last couple of years, I've seen this exact scenario play out. Thief walks to the door, checks under the mat, unsuccessfully tries to grab the key, backs up, looks around to see if anyone is watching, presumably because they think they have fallen for some trap/prank where they're being surveilled, and leaves. They don't even search for another way in because it spooks them. Story 5. LED lighting is cheap these days. If your house is going to be vacant for a while, consider investing in one of those smart lighting home automation systems where you can set different rooms to turn on and off at different points in the day. Kitchen during dinner time, bedrooms at night, etc. My neighbor did that and it fooled me. I rang his doorbell to ask to borrow a pressure washer wand with no response. Figured he was with family and wasn't taking any more visitors, but turns out he's been on vacation for the past 4 days. Or just do what I do and never really leave on vacation. Just stay home all the time, but leave all the lights off. Then, if a burglar breaks in, you've got company to save you from the crushing boredom. Sure, they beg to leave as you tie them up, but they're your friends now. You'll never be alone again. Story 6. Had my house burglarized by a so-called friend. He missed by far the most valuable thing. It's just a safe sitting on the laundry room floor. He missed it because I'm a scumbag and had it covered with a mountain of dirty clothes and towels, so not being tidy saved me upwards of $35,000. Story 7. For the college kids that might read this, don't keep your textbooks in your car. On the day of my finals, I had about 6 textbooks I was going to sell after my finals. I left the books in my car while I took my tests. Came back to find someone broke my window out to steal the textbooks. Cop told me that it's very common and unlikely they will catch the guy, so I was out about $700, which was huge as a college student. A net loss of $250 per textbook according to Snoozy's book refund value. Story 8. Also, side note, I used to do door-to-door sales for ADT. People would let me in the house and just tell me where all the important stuff was before even verifying I was legit. Don't do that. We had new windows recently. The blokes that came took out the windows so fast and so quietly I thought, I hope they're paid enough to never think about doing break-ins. I imagine it would probably work well, too. Sometimes the more obvious is, the less people think to check. Put some high-vis on and just drill the door off. Nobody will probably say anything. Story 9. Don't keep a spare key near the front door. Under pot plant, under doormat, top of door frame, etc. I've always had this idea where there's a fake door key that when used triggers an alarm. Is there such a thing? I saw a lock-picking lawyer video where he rigged his lock so that if you used the wrong key, the lock would jam halfway through turning, which both locked up the door permanently and trapped the key in the keyhole. What about a fake door key? I feel this would be kind of brilliant. Get a key that fits in the lock but doesn't turn. Thief tries for 10 to 15 seconds before ditching. All the while, you have some nice footage for the police via your video doorbell. Real fake doors. Why would a fake door need a key? Even better is if you don't keep the front door near the front. They won't know where to enter from. Where should people keep that spare key? In their spare pants, of course. I know when we read these ones with a ton of replies, it's a little hard to keep track of who is talking. Let me just say that in this instance, I don't think it matters. Frankly, I like to imagine it's just one person saying all of this stuff to themselves like they've lost their mind. Story 10. Why are you excluding active burglars from the conversation? All active burglars, please reply to this comment and please don't be using a VPN. Nice try, FBI. Plot twist. OP is an active burglar hoping to find places they've overlooked. They got into a house and are now waiting for some answers because they don't know where to look. Story 11. Obligatory, never done it, but you'd be surprised at how often people leave their cars unlocked with nice things inside. A lot of people actually leave them unlocked with the keys inside, LOL. It's how the majority of cars are stolen. Eliminating the easy opportunity is the easiest step and will do a lot to keep your valuables safe. Story 12. My cousin lives in a bad neighborhood, so she went to a thrift store, bought an obvious-looking jewelry box and a bunch of expensive-looking costume jewelry that's actually worthless and put it in the box. She keeps this in a conspicuous place. Then she leaves a few 20s on top. This way, if someone breaks in, they will grab this and run, ignoring some of her well-hidden valuables. The old switcheroo. That's a great idea. I kind of do this while on holiday. I'll hide my wallet and keep an empty wallet in the front pocket of my backpack. If someone pickpockets you in public, I doubt they'll check the contents first before trying to disappear. Hey man, the wallet I swiped from you is fake, so fess up man, where's the real wallet for me to steal from you secretly? And where are those well-hidden valuables? Just so you know, out of curiosity, random medicine containers. My mom used to keep rings in a Midol container until my dad cleaned the bathroom and threw out some expired meds. Good thing we realized it before the trash was picked up. That's quite smart. I've got some jewelry from my grandma and great-grandma, but just keep it in a locked medicine cabinet in our closet along with things we don't want little baby fingers getting a hold of. I may just have to make a fakie and hope it's enough to distract any potential burglars. What you all didn't hear was me pausing for multiple coughing fits while trying to read that story. Throat was dry as could be, and I'm still wiping away tears. But hey, hide your rings and pill bottles, I guess. That seems fine. Story 13. Inside vacuum cleaner. We hid money in it, and it got stolen with everything else in the house back in Syria. Wow, that sucks. The sad thing is, they weren't even using that vacuum cleaner. It was just gathering dust. To be fair, it's very dusty in Syria. They probably really wanted a vacuum. Story 14. Any safe that's not bolted down and is small enough for 1 to 2 people to carry isn't safe at all. Also, my ex-grandfather had a safe stolen from his house that was bolted down. The thieves wrapped a chain around it and ran it out the window to a truck. Took the safe straight through the wall. All they had to do was follow the drag marks, though. But still. Story 15. Your shed. Seriously, lock your effing shed. Even if your house is well locked, if your shed isn't, I likely have access to a plethora of tools I can use to gain access. Don't help the burglars. Lock your shed. Story 16. Reading this discussion with fascination and imagining alternative life where I have stuff worthy of stealing. Also, my husband is a hoarder, so I would be grateful if somebody came and stole some stuff. Yeah, anyone trying to find my valuables is going to have a hell of a job. It already looks like I've been burgled. Story 17. Don't leave things out that people can see from outside your home or car. If you buy a new TV or computer, break down the box it came in. Don't just leave it by your garbage bin. Lock doors and windows. Keep your handbag close and closed. If someone wants to break in, they will. Don't keep everything out in the open, and have insurance on anything that is valuable. If someone wants to break in, they will. This is the most important takeaway from this thread. Most neighborhoods are relatively empty during the day, and there's often not good visibility to back and side doors. And most locks are crap. Burglars will break in somewhere, but by having better security than your neighbors, they might not pick your house. And have insurance on anything that is valuable. That is probably the best advice. It's a good thing to try to prevent the burglary, but if it happens, insurance will save your butt. Joke's on them, I don't have anything valuable. Your move, burglar. It also helps to live on the top floor of your apartment building. Burglars, I'd imagine, want quick and easy. Ain't nobody carrying, potentially two-person carrying, a 65 to 70-inch TV down a few flights of stairs. They'll settle for the 55-inch in the first floor apartment instead. Trust me, I know. I carried it up there. Edit. Apparently I need to get my butt off the top floor. Story 18. I heard a lot of people hide stuff in the air vents. Is it searched usually? Also, my mom used to hide what little valuables we had in a small safe behind our washing machine, a really heavy one. Except if you knew it was there, you couldn't know there was a space here and that it was accessible. She had to spend 10 to 15 minutes hiding stuff because it was really hard to access, so I guess that burglars wanting to do their thing as quickly as possible wouldn't spend time looking there. So I can inconvenience burglars into not taking my stuff, but in return I have to inconvenience myself? I'm gonna have to think on that one. Story 19. A safe. Also, almost all locks are BS unless you had a locksmith put in security pins, but the robber can just take the safe and figure it out later if time is an issue. That's why you have to use a couple 100-pound gun safe that takes 3 people to get into a spot that doesn't fit, so it's wedged in there. Also, the gun safe is usually bolted down into the flooring from within to make it virtually immovable. Story 20. Not a burglar or former burglar, but never hide your keys and lock combinations in a jar near the door or under your welcome mat. Also, if you purchase something big like a TV or something, never leave the box near your home. The burglar would see it and know you have something valuable in there. I know this sounds crazy, but mow your lawn frequently. It'll show that you have been and had enough time to mow your lawn and that someone must be there. It's obvious, but only announce your trips when you're finished, so at first, nobody knows you're not there. Taxi driver, sir, please tell me where you want to go. Me, nah man, I'll tell you after I reach there. Or announce the trip and don't go and capture the burglars yourself. That will definitely not backfire. Story 21. Inside one of those small lockboxes. It's great when you find one because they're simple to open, and if they don't have a wall safe, then all of their main valuables and money are usually in it. Jackpot. My dad had a small one bolted to the floor that contained about $50,000 in cash. He told him about it a few days before he died and said it was mine now, but he never gave me the combination or where it was exactly. Took me longer to find the thing than to open it. I ended up prying it off the floor and taking the whole thing back to my house where I had more tools to open it up. Awesome. I think I'll get one and leave a note inside that reads, "Enjoy the next few hours, there is no antidote," and pieces of a broken vial. If I was rich and my house looked like it had valuables in it, I would love to do this. And have a camera record the room with the box. Story 22. Obligatory not a burglar, but I did work at a bank. Another teller told me about how this woman brought a flower pot to the girl's teller station. The bank teller was understandably confused when the woman pointed at the flower pot and said, "I need to make a deposit." Turns out this woman had planted thousands of dollars in her flower pot over the years. The problem? She wanted that flower for years with the money planted in the soil. Not only that, but she wrapped every bill in duct tape to keep the water from messing up the bills. The teller had to dig into the pot and help this woman unwrap money from duct tape. The teller said the worst part was the bills were soggy and moldy when they unwrapped them, so most of them were torn or the ink faded beyond readability, so the woman lost money. Don't put your money in flower pots or wrap it in duct tape. Oh, I have to go undo a thing. That's an incredibly stupid place to leave thousands of dollars. It's probably a good idea if done properly. Instead of effing duct tape, use bags or some sort of plastic wrap you can maybe shrink to the money, multiple layers too. Then it should definitely be waterproofed and pretty hidden inside a plant pot. Bonus tip, probably add silica packets with the dollars. Might also want to spray the dollars with something so whatever nasty is already on the dollars doesn't start multiplying and growing. Here's my tip, if you have stored your money in a super inconvenient way, get it all out and sorted before you go to the effing bank. If you make a bank teller help you undo your stupidity, you better be paying them a percentage of that money. Please like and subscribe if you've made it this far. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the video and have a wonderful day. Story 23. And where do you guys live? Just really curious. P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney. If that was my name, I would make it my life mission to move to that address. 1313 Mockingbird Lane, Mockingbird Heights, California. Story 24. Avoid having your valuables stolen by not having any valuables. Taps forehead. This is where my gold crown would go if I had one! Story 25. In my old neighborhood, if you got broken into and didn't have anything worth selling, they'd trash your place, like cut open your mattress, smash all your kitchenware, defecate on your floor. Serious business. A group hit our block a couple times. My roommate and I, broke college students, didn't have crap, jar of change, BB gun, dumb crap. My engineer neighbor had a watch collection. They left most of the expensive models but decided to kick dents in all his new high-end stainless appliances and $10,000 speakers. Didn't take the speakers, just kicked them in. They peed on my rug, man. Nice, I could do with someone tidying my house. Story 26. Not a burglar, but grew up in a high-crime area and knew some boys out there hitting licks. Bit off topic, but there were some guys that would ride a bike through busy parking lots searching for women loading up after shopping and leave their purse unattended in their shopping cart. Ride by and snatch. Then have a getaway route that a full-sized vehicle can't follow them through. This makes me feel less paranoid. Before grocery delivery, I would unlock my car, pop the trunk, put my purse in the car, close the door, lock the car with the key fob in my hand, then load the trunk with groceries. Story 27. Not a burglar, but our home has been broken into. We only had the one bedroom at the time, but the places that the burglar looked into were the closet, everything was thrown out, desk drawers, found a bit of cash, and our passports were taken, the entry furniture, drawers, under tables. At least now I know where not to hide valuables. Not that I have any. The bed/bedside. The place that small, yeah, they're gonna toss everything, except maybe the fridge/freezer. You can get storage devices for the fridge, but thieves know of this and do occasionally check it. One thing you can do is tape stuff to the underside of drawers and to the roof of low kitchen cabinets. Chances are a person won't go looking down low enough to see it. I can't fathom why someone would take passports, like those probably aren't worth the hassle or effort to sell. It can not only be used for identity theft, but it can be used to create a very authentic forgery, and those could be worth thousands of dollars. Identity theft isn't a joke. I hide all of my stuff in my oubliette, and woe be unto the burglar who finds the hidden door into my oubliette, as they are far less likely to find the way out. Story 28. We had a huge safe that takes 2 to 3 people to move. They broke into my house and flipped everything all over searching, but when they found the safe, they left everything else and focused on taking that. I even had iPads and Rolex watches laying around in the open. Point is, we kept the safe empty and would only keep a few fake pieces of jewelry in case there was ever a home invasion. We could offer them something to take. Story 29. LOL. My dad and 2 uncles were once looking after my house from my grandma. They were about 11, 17, and 18 when they heard someone knocking about the garage. So my dad and uncle, 18 and 17, went out and found a burglar and threatened to beat him up if he didn't leave the property. He had his ladder next to the garage to try and get in from the top. I don't know what he was doing that for. And as he left, he asked if he could at least take his ladder with him. To this day, my dad still has that ladder. Story 30. My mother has a closet filled with food supplies, boxes of bags of spices and such. There's at least 3 dozen such boxes at all times in said closet. One of them, and she replaces it regularly, so the expiration date remains relevant. She opens up carefully, fills with valuables, and then carefully closes back up. She had me try to find which one of the boxes it was. I genuinely couldn't tell from sight alone. Only the slightly different heft tipped me off after 10 minutes. No burglar will ever find that stash. No burglar will ever find that stash. Story 31. Pro tip. Hide your small valuables inside a used/empty fire extinguisher. No one is going to steal a fire extinguisher. I had a fire extinguisher stolen from my car. Effing, there goes my whole game plan. You've clearly never been to Poland. They'll steal anything here. Example, my wife and I caught an old man trying to steal a small tree from some public greenery. The school I used to work at couldn't keep coat hangers on the doors and the toilets because they kept getting stolen. My grandma lives in Poland and they once stole her rain gutter. For extra stealth, put it between a real fire extinguisher and a joke one filled with flour. But then what if they steal my flour fire extinguisher? I love that thing. It's my pride and joy. Also, what? Story 32. This will get buried, but here we go. Not a burglar, but someone broke into my family house 4 or 5 years ago when we were out on a concert. They checked everything, took all the money and jewelry they could find. Except my room was a mess to begin with. I left piles of clothes on the floor, my study desk messy as F, left piles of papers on both desk and floor. I was in a hurry before we all left and was searching for something I can't quite remember now. Now, I had €80 and golden earrings on my desk, just sitting